So I finally got through the pre-trial hearing for the Bryan Kohberger Idaho 4 Moscow murders that happened on May 15th, and I've just gotten through it because it was supposed to be 4 hours long, and it was about just about 3. Well, I took like 4 pages of notes so that you don't have to watch it. It was kind of boring, to be honest with you, so I'll just read you my notes so you guys kind of know what went down in that hearing. Apologies if you can hear the traffic. I live near a street and it's really hot today, so I have the door open. So for the jury voir dire process, or the questioning of jurors, the questions will not be made public. It will be done in a closed hearing as well. So the judge asked about the model home that has been produced by the prosecution and that he was going to allow, and they said yes, it has been produced, and the defense viewed it the day before, and 2 experts viewed it, wanted to know where it was going to be stored, and it's going to be stored within the courthouse of the evidence vault and can arrange for access for either party, as well as the judge can view it too. And then Thompson talked about how the dollhouse was an inappropriate characterization of the model, and he said that it might have been his fault for characterizing it like that due to what's happened there, that it's not to scale, and it will be referred to as a model going forward. The judge said that agreements need to be in writing between the defense and prosecution so that the judge knows what was agreed to and can refer to it. He wants witness lists that are categorized and not just a bunch of names. He said with regards to the alternative perpetrators that Bryan wants to bring forth, he said that the defense asked for it to be sealed, and it will be sealed. The judge wants to add information by May 23rd and whatever evidence that supports those allegations, and how that they believe what was given is admissible in court. The state will then respond by June 6th, and they have scheduled a hearing for June 18th at 12:30 p.m. Pacific. Now, I don't know if this has changed since his ruling, or his the thing that he filed, meaning the judge, when he found out about the Dateline episode. So I don't know if it's been changed, but that's what it was. Now, for the juror questionnaire, there was a glitch in the footage just before the 34-minute mark in the video that I was watching, and they said that there was going to be access to a shared drive. I'm not really sure what for, but I'm assuming the jury questionnaire. The judge said that they can print it, but they will need to bring their own printer if they choose to do so that way, and that they need to keep track via the juror number. It's gonna be the scramble number that they're gonna give the jurors, and that's the signed number to them, and then they're gonna bring in to fill out the questionnaire. Once they have enough jurors, they will stop. The questionnaire is extremely confidential. Reminded all parties of this. Attorney's eyes only. Investigators can view if both parties agree, and defendant can only view in attorney's presence. Both sides requested that their paralegals or admin staff to be able to view it, and the judge agreed to this, but he said that the attorneys are responsible for their conduct. For the voir dire process, or jury selection process, the court does it first in Idaho, and then the judge incorporated it into his questionnaire. He provided all of his questions basically, then attorneys can question from there. Basic elimination first, then media items if they have seen anything impossible to ask about capital punishment. He did talk about how it will be streamed to a larger room, but that immediate family will be in the courtroom, and voir dire counsel and defendant only, and no stream during that because he doesn't want any of those questions getting out. The jurors to be identified by scramble number only, no names or faces shown. Wants to get through 3 to 4 panels a day. Judge wants 8 alternates, total of 20 people max. He can fit into the jury box. There's going to be 12 strikes per side, so defense and prosecution can strike people 12 times if they don't agree, and total of 44 in the event that they lose someone. Their goal is to get 50 to 55 people. Time limit on preemptory, meaning to prevent from happening or take place, which is their strikes. That's what that means. And they each have 30 minutes each to enter and will be timed. Once panel is selected, lottery will determine jurors versus alternates. They will be taken to another area of the court, and the jurors will be introduced to court staff and admin judge for the trial to know how to ask questions, etc., but no contact with the jurors whatsoever from any party. He himself will introduce the jurors to the court staff and then leave so that he isn't implicated by overhearing things either. There's an administrative order which relates to inside and outside conduct of the courtroom, and wants to know where the attorneys and witnesses will stay so that the jurors, once they are in deliberation and sequestered, that they are not staying at the same hotel. Conference rooms will be given to both sides outside the courtroom where they can keep their files, and even like the janitorial staff will not have access to these rooms that they're going to provide. So trial itself will be Monday through Friday, starting at 8:45 with jury each morning, ending at 3:30 p.m. in the afternoon. The sequestered phase will extend hours to fill up jurors' days. Counsel and defendant dressed and ready by 8:15, and from that point to 8:45, questions will be addressed. Period from 3:45 to 4:30 in the afternoon will also address issues potentially for the next day, and they do not have trial on October 2nd and 3rd because of the judge's previous commitment. Holidays are on September 1st, October 13th, and November 11th. There will be no court, and there might be an exception on those days if they are sequestered so they can continue getting through it. Technology that is going to be used, make sure it works before court. He suggested bringing their own IT person on each side. Plan ahead to have alternative versions of things if needed, or someone can redact items quickly if necessary. He said that they have two ways of viewing things, either an HDMI link or the old school type of projector, which he calls Elmo. So I'm going to conclude there. That's part one of the pretrial hearing for the Idaho 4 Moscow murders that happened on May 15th, and I am now summarizing it for you, so come back for part two.